In this video, I'll outline my entire ab day philosophy and methodology, which will hopefully give you both the motivation and the tactics to speed up your journey towards not only defined six-pack abs, but a strong, dynamic, and functional core which can help support your compound lifts, boost strength across your body, and help prevent injury. I would not be as confident as I am if I didn't have visible abs. I would not be as strong as I am if not for an equally strong core which could pull its share of the weight. And the act of making my abs a focal point of my training has benefited my life in many more ways than just having visible abs alone. From my bench press to my weighted calisthenic movements, a strong core is crucial in maintaining tension, properly bracing, and creating stability, resulting in more efficient force transfer and greater overall strength in your compound movements. You'll realize how much of your core gets engaged even throughout the day when they're extremely sore. From arching on the bench press to doing a pull-up, your abs will be active across many movements you do not give them credit for. So it's only fair that we train them so they can also be strong and have more to contribute to other movements. A stronger core also means your lower back is better supported. I've been a competitive powerlifter for the last 7 years. I deadlift over 600 pounds and squat close to 500 at 6 foot with long femurs and a lot of lumbar extension to lock out these movements. Yet I haven't experienced a single serious lower back injury in this time. I believe my ab training methodology was a big reason for this. From an aesthetic perspective, abs also grow in size. You will see the six-pack muscles get more defined with deeper cuts and more detail the more developed your abs are. This allows them to remain visible through many layers of fat. Look at my tank top example here. If I had a layer of fat on top of them as thick as this shirt, they would still be visible. And I think something a lot of people overlook in romantic relationships is the importance of physical attraction. And whether you're single or in a long-term relationship, you're not guaranteed to get and maintain physical attraction forever. Physical attraction is not moral. It does not occur because it's supposed to occur. It happens as our subconscious picks up on physical cues and characteristics. I've had partners in the past reassure me that they don't care whether I have abs or not. But yet, when I get significantly leaner for a bodybuilding show, I tend to notice a shift in their, we'll call it romantic enthusiasm. And that's going from abs to tighter abs. Not even belly to abs. We often try to be considerate to our partners and often don't communicate these things because we don't want to hurt their feelings. But our subconscious is a little less forgiving, unfortunately. So if it's in my power to keep physical attraction high in my relationship, I'm going to prioritize that. Not only this, but the way we feel about ourselves also affects the way we treat the people around us. I operate better in the world when I don't hate myself and when I'm not numbing the things my subconscious is telling me to address. We often know we should be getting into shape, but that's a lot of work, so maybe we should just numb these feelings out instead. Then our subconscious builds up that inner self-resentment that we project out at the world. Having a physique I'm proud of is essential for me to feel the best about myself. And by extension, I treat everyone else around me better. I also have a theory that there is some truth to spot reduction, which means that by training your abs, you might actually burn some fat there. Hear me out. Certain areas of our body hold more muscle mass and are more metabolically active compared to other areas. This could be because we preferentially train them more or our sport demands it of us. These bigger muscles have more local capillary density, blood flow, and enhanced hormonal signaling. To supply this large demand, this could mean that these areas have an easier time utilizing fat for energy. So basically, my theory is this. The more developed and active a muscle group is, the more effectively and preferentially the body might burn the fat which is stored around it. So if your abs are utilized like mine, where you have a specific ab day and you've trained and progressed every muscle around the core, this increased muscular activity, blood flow, and nutrient delivery might mean fat in this region burns off more readily. On the other hand, if an area is rarely trained or activated, it might hold on to fat longer due to less metabolic and circulatory adaptation. I certainly believe this has been the case for me. I always hold on to my abs at higher body fat percentages, and I usually maintain the same definition there even as I get leaner leading up to a bodybuilding show. So at this point, I either motivated you or I scared you. But don't worry, I won't leave you hanging. Let's talk about how we can facilitate a strong and defined six-pack for you and transform your physique for the better. I'm a firm believer in dedicating an entire day to training your core, and we want to train it dynamically to reflect its wide variety of movements and functions. We want to target and isolate not only the six-pack muscles themselves, but all of the muscles which are responsible for rotation, lateral flexion, and even include isometric exercises. And all of the exercises I'm providing here are the ones which I found to be the most effective on my journey. But a lot of them will take some working up to, so you'll want to start with partial reps and easier progressions to build the strength to get up to the point where I am. I always start my core workout off with a front lever and a dragon flag, as these are the movements which require the most out of my core, and I like to place a high priority on the flashiest movements at the start. The movements you place at the start of the workout should provide you the most motivation to come into the gym and progress them. Since you'll be the most fresh and effective early in the workout, you will have a strong indicator of their progression progression from week to week, which will keep you motivated. You want to think of working your way up to a front lever like you're leveling up. You'll start with level 1 with a leg raise, level 2 will be toes to bar, level 3 will be holding a tuck, and level 4 will be single leg. Each progression helps build the strength for the subsequent progressions, and your goal is to level up over time. The dragon flag will also follow a similar progression, where the lower and more horizontal you are, the harder it is to hold. Single leg is the easiest, and you want to pay attention to whether you can hold it a little lower each week. These movements are dynamic and do involve your upper back as well, which is a nice little back stimulus on top of things. And once you master them, they should be a prized possession, because not too many people in the world have mastered these challenging movements. Next on the list is we want to isolate spinal flexion, which is a crunching movement. My favorite for this is a decline crunch, where you add weight and progress them from week to week. I just hit a PR of 135 pounds this workout, but don't let this fool you. This is an extremely hard variation, and it's probably taken me 7 years to build up the strength for this, since starting on a 20-pound easy curl bar. I also like spinal flexion movements which force me into a hyperextended position, which properly stretches out the abs and even your lower back. This can be done on a rogue donkey like me here, or a JHD, or even a back extension. I usually have 2 spinal flexion exercises I like to progress. Next, we need to address lateral flexion and hit our obliques. Obliques are definitely underemphasized, but are extremely important in stabilizing your body from left to right. A lot of people don't train them because they're afraid they'll look blocky and increase your waist size. But I assure you, after training them as heavy as I can for 7 years, I have not gone up a waist size on my pants whatsoever. I'm still a 32. I found this specific oblique crunch to be the best, as it places the opposite oblique into a stretch at the bottom, increasing the range of motion and the difficulty. Just doing these with your body weight is plenty, and if you're new, you'll want to start with partial reps to build the strength. You can also do these on a back extension, or even incorporate a similar movement by moving your legs on a hanging variation like this. Next up, we want a rotational movement for our obliques. These can be done on cables, machines, or even the GHD as well. There are different muscles in the obliques responsible for rotation and lateral flexion, so we want to target each of these. After this, I like to sneak in an ab roller movement, although I will be very fatigued at this point. It would be fair to stick these earlier in the workout if there's something you'd like to prioritize. If you like planks, I highly recommend you do ab roller planks instead, since you'll actually feel these in your abs themselves rather than in your shoulders. And finally, we have our hip flexors, which contributed a lot to these movements we've done already. Hip flexors tend to be very active on our prior leg raise movements, but I also like to isolate them even further. Sometimes this can be done with a variety of hanging exercises or some V-sit progressions where the smallest movement completely torches you. So, in summary, you want to structure your ab workout like this. Start with a primary progression which works your way up to a fancy movement like a front lever or a dragon flag. Next, include a spinal flexion movement like a decline crunch or back extension GHD variation where you get put into a hyperextended position. Then we want to target lateral flexion and follow that up with a rotational movement for our obliques. Then you can finish off by burning out on an ab roller and isolating your hip flexors. This workout sufficiently targets and progresses each movement the core is capable of, so that not a single muscle is left unstimulated. This will ensure that your core is left balanced and that there is plenty of stimulus for muscle growth. As you can see, there's tons of movements you can look forward to mastering and adding weight to. And that's all you want to focus on, as your abs will get stronger and slowly more defined over time as you progress towards these more challenging movements. You will be extremely sore the first few workouts, so I apologize in advance, but this soreness will go away the more your body gets used to this style of core training. Of course, the next step from here is to get lean enough, but I'll save the diet advice for a different video. And hey, hopefully maintaining a consistent effort on your abs will help motivate you to stick to a better diet as well. I am certainly happier maintaining a more intentional diet with a physique that I am proud of, rather than convincing myself it's not worth it and stuffing my face all day. Because that's temporary dopamine compared to the lasting dopamine of sporting a physique you are truly proud of. And if you'd like more specifics to structure this alongside an effective program to help build your physique and get really strong across your body, with all of the progressions built in for any skill level, definitely come check out my community. I also have all of my nutrition advice in there already, and you'll also have access to me inside as your coach. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was able to provide you with both the motivation and the toolkit you need to help you build a strong, defined, and functional core.